I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. We'd like to welcome the Lieutenant Governor, Tom Ford, as well as, well, you're going to introduce your friend, so we'll get to that later. Okay, so I want to thank the 70 people who recommitted to the club for the coming year. We appreciate your prompt payment so we can submit our roster members to the Kiwanis today. Be sure to alert any local nonprofits to apply for the $5,000 Kiwanis Foundation grant.
Hey Mary, do you mind speaking a little louder? We've got a hum over us here.
Okay. So, you know, we give away grants, and so those are due on the 14th of October. So if you know any local nonprofits who want to apply for those grants, please let them know that. It's indykiwanis.org, and it's just /grants. It's a Google form. They just fill it out, send it in. It's pretty easy. We received 20 submissions so far. If you want to check on who's applied, there's a list at the table out front. Since 2015, we've given out $265,000, and it's been awarded to 60 organizations in central Indiana to help their programs idea be tested, launched, or expanded. Be sure to mark your calendars for these upcoming events. On the 17th, Laura Holloway, our famous Laura Holloway, reviewing the KI's Youth Protection Guidelines on Zoom. On the 21st, we've got the Lunch Bunch at Ozo's. On the 24th, we've got a Zoom with the Komen Tissue Bank. And on the December 12th, we have Sarah Taylor with the Hoosier Lottery. On November the 2nd is Codes for Kids with the Salvation Army. That's going to be at the State Fairgrounds. You can drop off your code at any Classic Cleaners location up through the 19th of October. So go through your closets now. The 19th will be here pretty quick. And any code that you can give will be greatly appreciated. I'm going to call Chuck up for a moment. Talk about the high school football program.
I can't tell you how many of you have been asking me, Chuck, when is the football banquet, right?
How many?
How many, yeah, right?
When's the banquet?
It's December 5th. Oh, I forgot, it's December 5th. So mark your calendars, and you know, it's the big one. It's out the Colts facility.
Eric's right there, you can tell him.
And what's that?
Eric's right there, you can tell him too.
Oh, Eric, yeah. You know, I know you've been asking me, Chuck, when is the Colts banquet? Tell me, because I got to mark my calendar. So we're working on a guest speaker, and as you know, it's always a dynamic person, and you want to mark your calendars. And we present $5,000 scholarships and honoring players and coaches in Marion County. And Rob's here today. Thank you, Rob. Bill on my committee, and Roger.
And
And what's that? Oh, right. Oh, we have a new member this year. So
Nathan played high school football in Marion County.
he did. So we've got some new blood this year and new ideas. We have a meeting on Tuesday at noon with the Colts, and sort of formulating some new ideas and new plans. Team sponsors, our table sponsors are available. $200 gets you a ticket and your name recognition on the table. And I know, Bill, you always have to have an arm wrestle with Trent. I think for Lawrence North, right, Trent? You
Oh man,
guys-
it's three people fighting for Lawrence.
Oh, is that right? So we have some competition.
We may need
So it's
to
gonna
annex the school just for this purpose.
It's gonna
right?
go to the highest bidder. So,
Oh, yeah.
Roger, you like
Ron Collins.
Roncalli, sorry,
Yeah.
yep. And so we always have a good turnout for that. I think, let's see, Halstead, where's Halstead?
North Central.
North Central, right, you always like to sponsor North Central, so we have some favorites. So anyway, December 5th, so it's coming fast, as you know, time flies when you get older. Saturday is my 70th birthday, so I cross over.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
70 years young, very, very young.
Yes,
Very
so
young.
I'm crossing over into the next
Older
decade.
than the football program.
What's that?
Older than the football program.
Ouch.
You don't look a day over 69.
Thank you very much. I appreciate
I was gonna just about, yeah.
Well, happy birthday. And some of us aren't far behind, so. I'm gonna ask our Lieutenant Governor, Tom Ford, to come up and install some of our officers.
Hi there. Hello, well, I guess I'm Tom Ford. I'm the Lieutenant Governor. First of all, I would like to say thank you and welcome to Indy Metro. We changed the divisions a little bit throughout the state, so now we only have 17, so the Downtown Club becomes part of Indy Metro. My goal as Lieutenant Governor is basically to connect with all the clubs. And so my goal is to get to at least one meeting or event each month for every club of all 10. So one of the things, so I need to find out when your schedule is, when you meet, but also if you have, and you have my email, Kelly, as far as when your events are, what the different events are, obviously the football.
football program.
The football program's December 5th, so I'll put that on my calendar, so we're good to go. I've been to the Lincoln Award several times, which is an awesome event, and love to attend more. So with that, I guess we'll get going.
You got it. Eric right here.
All right, there's Eric, and Eric, you are in Cincinnati? Okay. Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah. I've been told I have been told many times I'm not a very quiet individual, so I come from a very loud family.
Loud.
Very
It's
loud,
good. Loud is good
very
here.
loud family. Okay. Oops, wrong page. Okay, Eric, you have been elected to the highest office your club can bestow on you. It is an office of great honor and great responsibility. The success of this club in the new year will depend on your leadership as you engage your members and council committees. In our community, you'll be the face of Kiwanis and this club. Guided by the club's vision, you and your board will set goals for improving member experience and increasing the impact of your service in the community. Thank you for your dedication and dedicating yourself to this role, and I hereby formally install you as the president of this club. Congratulations. Now, I don't want you to be like our past president, immediate past president, who spent 3 months in Jamaica as president, so you cannot spend 3 months in Cincinnati. You have to come home.
I'll be back tomorrow.
Okay.
Good. Kelly appreciates that.
Absolutely.
Well, congratulations and thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, Wendy, come on up, please. Is it a glare? Or he just got, oh, I was like, congratulations and thank you. Wendy, you have been selected to lead your club during this following year. As you serve on the board this year, take advantage of the opportunities to learn about the president's role, build relationships, and plan for your year as president. In the absence of the president, which he's coming back tomorrow, you will preside at the club meetings and at board meetings. I hereby formally install you as president-elect of this club. Congratulations. Get that thing to sign you? Just go on the left or right, does it matter?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Need help, Tom?
There we go. No, just making sure I can read the
Thank
case
you.
upside down. Congratulations, thank you. Okay. And today's meeting is being recorded, so I'd like to thank all the leaders that are out here. Right now, I'm just seeing Eric out there, but if there's anybody else out there coming in late, thank you for your service. The following people I'd like to at least stand if you're here. I'm going to recognize the board of directors that are coming up. Greg Silver, very good. Greg is
Greg's
not- no,
in,
Greg-
Greg's with the Pelicans.
That's right, he's with the Pelicans in Florida, so I hope he
Volunteering.
is safe, and I hope the Pelicans are safe, because obviously Florida
I
got,
think it's Pelicans.
got,
something
got
like that.
a lot of rain. Laura Holloway, Chuck Cotterman, Art Kodroff, am I saying that right?
Yes.
Art? Okay, Steve Farrow. They'll be joining Jackie Clancy, who is not here with us today, and to be on this year's board. As the club board of directors, you set strategic direction, implement club policies, and approve the budget and support committee activities. Thank you for stepping up, all of you. I've been on the board for many years, and now I get to be on the Lieutenant Governor board, so I understand the commitment. It's my pleasure to formally install you as directors of this club. Thank you very much. Mary, come on up. You're not done yet.
I know.
Your club benefits from the immediate past president continuing for one more year on the board of directors. Your experience as club president will empower you to be an essential mentor and advisor on the business of the club. It's my pleasure to present to you your past president's pin and name tag, and by doing so, to charge to you with sharing your wisdom and lending a hand.
That's what we do, we
And
lend
you
hands.
get to lend a hand.
And I get my
This is a
gavel.
memento
There's,
In case we need you to use it.
I can hit Roger over the head
you get,
maybe
you get
sometimes.
your own, you get your own
I get my
gavel.
Do you
gavel.
want me to print
Wow,
it out?
and you get to take it home. I'm gonna hand this to you.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and
Thank you, Tom.
congratulations, one more year. Roger, just stand up, everybody knows Roger.
No, make him come up here.
Oh, Roger, come on up, Roger, fine, don't be bad. Come on up.
Is there a cancel order?
Yes, absolutely.
You got a piece of paper.
Eric.
Hey, Raj.
As treasurer.
Are you over on Capitol Avenue?
No, well, no, I'm in Cincinnati.
Yeah, well,
Cincinnati
I
now.
believe you.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. As treasurer, you have been elected to an office that demands absolute integrity and financial and accounting skills. It is your role to deposit and disperse the funds of the club upon the direction of the board of directors. You also report on the club's finances at each board meeting. Thank you for stepping up and/or continuing.
Thank you.
As secretary,
No, treasurer.
Treasurer, sorry, I formally install you as treasurer, not
Thank you.
secretary.
Yeah, I don't want that.
She's up
job.
next.
Oh, thank you.
I get it.
Thank you,
I
Rob.
stand off. I better get.
I'm happy to have $5,000.
Checks in the mail. Kelly, thank you. And as bouncing around here, obviously you understand the important role of secretary. And this is kind of a reunion for us. We got together
We've known each other, I don't know, for quite.
10 years.
Tom created something called
Boques.
Boqua?
Boqua and Boques.
And, yeah, and we met at the Y in a swimming pool, I don't know,
It's kind
7 years ago?
And you say that because
5
you all
years
know
ago? I
Brad
don't know.
Boyd.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Brad Boyd was also a client of mine 20 odd years ago. And at the time, he wasn't part of Kiwanis and neither was I. But I came to Indianapolis knowing, well, having one contact and happened to be the president of KI. So 10 years after that, I met Brad. 20 years after that, I'm now Lieutenant Governor. So.
I met Brad 30 years ago.
So it all comes around.
It all comes around.
It all comes around. In Kiwanis, the club secretary is the master of details, as you can tell by her buzzing around. Your role in handling club affairs, the details of the club and board meetings, the reports, correspondence, and records is essential for the club to run smoothly. Thank you for taking the important role. Thank you for all you do. And I formally install you as secretary of this club. And I think that is all for my duties. I think, Mary, you get to come back up again. Like I said, you're not done yet.
I do.
And thank you all for having me and inviting me.
So now it's the fun part, where I get to say that Wendy Paddock is the Queen of the Year this year.
Gwendolyn.
Gwendolyn, yes. So she's been a Kiwanian since, I don't know, 32 years, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, long time.
I was in high school.
Yeah, we were both 12 at the time when we joined. But as you know, she has run the Abe Lincoln, she's been on Abe Lincoln for a long time. And then she took over as chair. And each year, if you're on the committee, each year, you know, when we have that banquet, you know, everything that goes into it. and all the work she has to do, let alone all the club members do from the committee. But it is a huge project. And each year that we have this banquet, she manages to tweak it and make it better and better. And last year was it just glided. It was so smooth, so well done. And it's because of her leadership and her telling us, you need to do this and you need to do, she's really good at delegating. And that's an example of a good leader as well. So Wendy, I'm just thrilled that you're Kiwanis of the year, and say a few words.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you. This is an intense honor because I know how hard every member of this club works. And it's true that as much as I do for Abe Lincoln and any committee I've ever worked on, it's a committee, you know? And I delegate, and it works out well because people who I delegate to do such a fabulous job. And there's such a wealth of wisdom in this club that I can depend on to help me. So I thank you all very much. I thank you for this honor. This is incredible. Just thank you so much. The Kiwanis means the world to me.
Thank you, Wendy.
The next 32 years.
Yes.
I mean, so did you listen to her? How can you not be on a committee that she runs? You know, she's so engaging. I'm going to bring Laura up here, and she's going to introduce some people to us.
Sure. Yeah. Hi everyone. First we have a few guests here, all revolving around Key Club, celebrating Key Club's 100th anniversary this service year, this coming March 2025. First we'll have two wonderful Key Club members, Key Club leaders, talk about their experience at the International Convention this past July. Love and Haley. So Haley is the Indiana District Webmaster, and Love is the Indiana District Lieutenant Governor for the Rose Division. And so it has been a pleasure. I just wanted to say real quick that it's been a pleasure working with you since day one. They show up at the service projects. I just never having any experience, just wanting to join in, and then stepped up and stepped up and stepped up. So facing challenges and building character along the way. So I've been inspired working with you. So I'd like to invite you guys to tell us a little bit about your experience from your perspective, and yeah.
Okay, so over the summer we had the opportunity, partially thanks to your guys' Kiwanis Club for sponsoring us, to attend the international convention for Key Club International. So I just wanted to say thank you to all of you for all the hard work and the dedication that you all have for Kiwanis. And now we're going to kind of talk a little bit about our experience at the convention.
So as part of like the money that we paid, we were able to go on a tour. So the Indiana District of Key Club joined with the Michigan District, and we kind of just visited a lot of like monumental sites around Georgia. So we were able to see their Holocaust Museum and listen to a Holocaust speaker. We also went to the Martin Luther King Jr. Museum. We saw their aquarium, and we did have a good amount of free time to kind of like explore the area, visit some iconic restaurants and things like that.
Yeah, and then after the tour, which lasted the first 4 days of the 7 days, we got into like the actual convention. So this was where we kind of got to interact with more Key Clubbers because everyone was finally there. So getting to socialize with so many Key Clubbers from different places of the entire world, not just the States, was honestly really like inspiring, just to see that we all have one common thing while also like all being so different in some ways. It was also interesting to see kind of how the differences of each district is run, at least for me, since I serve on the district board for Indiana. And we also got to witness their like election process on the international level, which honestly my favorite part of going to the district convention the past couple years has been like the election process. So it's just really interesting to see kind of their like caucusing, their like nominating conference, and then also their actual like elections, or their House of Delegates basically. And we also got to, the Indiana district endorsed 2 candidates running for international trustee positions. And so now it's exciting to see that the Indiana district has 1 person who was selected to be the international trustee. I don't know if you guys know her, but it's Nicole Bunyog. She's from Washington Township. So it's just really interesting and exciting being there to kind of support her throughout the process as well. So thank you to all of you again.
Thank you very much for being here and for telling us about your experience. It is now my pleasure to introduce our speaker today, Matt Ellis. He is coming from Kiwanis International. We work together directly on Key Club International's program. So before coming to Key Club International in 2021, Matt he worked and volunteered in public health and family issues, and brought a wealth of knowledge and experience to the role that he has now. Now working to empower youth, the students that we work with, to get involved in their communities, to build character, build confidence, and really lead the way into the future. So please join me in welcoming Matt Ellis.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you, everybody, for having me. I'm so excited to be here. I'm lucky enough to work with Laura Holloway, and just want to say how important she is to the Key Club International program. She is an amazing team member and does a great job. I asked Laura to print my notes this morning. This whole thing is about Laura and how great she is. So, no, Laura does a fantastic job. She and I work very well together. I love working with her, and I really appreciate her. Today I'm going to touch briefly on a variety of Key Club related topics. We're going to talk about programs and events that you might be interested in. I'll update you on some things like our membership growth, and then share a few ideas for how your club can continue to support our Key Club members just like Haley and Love. My personal preference is to be a bit more informal. So as we're going through, if you have questions about a specific program that I'm discussing at that moment, it's perfectly fine if you interrupt me and ask those questions at that time instead of holding everything to the end. But if you have questions about something that I'm not addressing, I will have plenty of time for Q&A at the end. So feel free to interrupt me at will. That won't throw me off or bother me at all, so I appreciate it. Was anybody here in Key Club, just out of curiosity? All right, one, fantastic.
International president right there.
No, Circle K.
Circle K president, okay, great. Well,
I attended the 59 International Convention of Key Club in Toronto
oh, okay.
and the 1960 convention in Boston.
Oh, fantastic. I would love to hear about your experiences with that. And, you know, in this year, as has been mentioned a couple times, you know, this is our 100th year. So we are looking to connect with alumni and past leaders and people who attended conventions and had experiences. So would love to talk with you more about what they looked like. So I'm so glad. Let's see here. So our international convention is July 2nd through the 6th in Orlando, Florida. We're looking to reconnect, as I said, with a lot of our alumni. Yeah, we have some pretty famous alumni as well. Former Senator Bill Nelson, who now is the administrator for NASA, is a former Key Club member. I think Bill Clinton was a former Key Club member. You know, some artists. Elvis was a former Key Club member. That's right. Yeah. So, you know, I don't think we're going to get Elvis back, but I think we can get some of the others maybe. I don't know. Maybe he might be around. I mean, you know, not confirmed he's gone, right? Yeah. So this year, in conjunction with the convention, we are looking to have a birthday campaign to do a fundraiser. So we're asking for every Key Club and every sponsoring Kiwanis Club to donate $100 to help us secure the future of Key Club. And over $21,000 has already been raised in the last 20 months, so we're off to a great start with that. Now, when it comes to growth, our growth philosophy is really, really simple. And our executive director, Michelle Sudi Campbell, has set this vision for us. It has been working spectacularly, and we're excited to see it continue. It's really simple. We have great programming, great value. We do consistent communication and outreach, and that leads to greater growth and retention. So the numbers right now, this year we have over 225,000 members. When I came in, now granted it was the pandemic year, I started essentially at the first year we were coming out of the pandemic, but we were at about 130,000 members. So we have reclaimed about 90% of those pre-COVID numbers, and this year we're going to, feel confident we're going to get all the way there. Over 5,000 clubs. We're in more than 45 countries. Just last year we added a new district, the Philippine Luzon district. In the course of the next 12 to 18 months, we're hoping to add Italy as a district. They have expressed a desire to be a district in formation, and they want to move quickly on that, so we're excited about adding Italy. So then one of the things that's really important to us is that our students feel like we are achieving our mission. And so when we do our membership surveys, about 91% of our members say that we are 5-star achieving our mission. As you know from attending events with Key Clubbers and having folks like Love and Haley at your events, we're always really keeping youth protection top of mind on our priorities. And so 94% of our Key Club members say they feel safe at Key Club events. And that is a very, very high percentage, especially these days. So, we tend to, at the staff level, continue to harp on youth protection, getting training, getting chaperone training, all of those things, but it's because we want our members to feel safe. So now I want to just give you an overview of a few of the programs that I'm really proud of at Key Club and some of the things that we're doing with that. The first is the Global Leadership Certificate. And I don't know how plugged into this kind of thing you guys are. Are you guys aware of things like our Global Leadership Certificate? No? Okay. That's great. This will be a good opportunity for me to tell you a little bit about it then. This is an online development program that focuses on our core values of fellowship, leadership, and service. We have about 40 courses or so, and they touch on really everything, not only core skills like strategic planning and things like that, but also some of the softer skills about how to get along with people, how to welcome people in groups and different things. So really it's a holistic approach to leadership development. We've had about 3,000 students complete over 35,000 courses. And we've got some great presenters in there. If anybody has heard of the Khan Academy, Sal Khan is a former Key Club member as well, and he did one of the courses for us. So it gets really great reviews. We're trying to get it accredited by a college or university so that the students will actually get college credit for completing the Global Leadership Certificate. I see we've got the UNICEF box here. So Trick or Treat for UNICEF is going on right now. This supports our Start Strong Zambia initiative. That initiative pays to develop what are called INSACAs, or Early Childhood Development Centers. Those have spaces for children to play. It has a community kitchen, a playground, water and sanitation facilities, and vegetable gardens, things like that. So they're great for helping students get off to an early start in an area where it's difficult for them to do so. I know Laura was telling me this morning that the government of Zambia has pledged that once we get these INSACAs up and running, that they will make sure that they remain sustainable, and that if for whatever reason UNICEF's funding is diminished or goes away, that the government will make sure that those INSACAs stay in operation, which is fantastic. Our Youth Opportunities Fund provides grants for Key Club projects ranging from $250 to $2,000. We're right now in the process of getting ready to start evaluating the first cycle of grants. We used to just do one cycle for the whole year, but now we do 2 different cycles to give those students who maybe don't know about it or take a little bit of time to get going, they can start working on that in March. So we're about to start doing our first round of grant evaluations. I think each year we're giving out roughly $80,000, $85,000 right now in terms of those service project grants. Another thing that you all might be interested in, and especially you, is our alumni network that's pretty new. So there are a couple of different things that we can do. We have a 1925 club where a donation of $1,925 includes special events, commemorative pin, coffee table book, but really helps support all of our Key Club programming. You can sign up for the alumni program at keyclubalumni.kiwanis.org. And I think one of the last things I want to just talk about with you briefly is how you can help students like Love and Haley. So the first thing is you can join that alumni network as a Kiwanian, as a Key Club member, and if possible, you can join that 1925 club that will help us with funding to secure the next 100 years of Key Club. You can donate that $100 as a club to our birthday fundraiser. Those funds directly support those Youth Opportunities Fund grants that we talked about and allow us to help students fund even more service projects in their communities. And then you can continue to support leadership development in students like Love and Haley by sending them to things like the district and international events. And then one of the last things is that you can consider becoming a Kiwanis advisor for a new Key Club. I know you already sponsor a few Key Clubs. If anybody would want to be a Kiwanis advisor and help us sponsor even more Key Clubs, would love that. That'd be great. So I know from other Kiwanis staff, Jeff Otis isn't here today, and I don't work closely with Jeff, but I do see him around the building, and you know, he seems okay. Seems fine. So he's no Laura Holloway, but he seems like a nice enough guy. No, but I know what a terrific job you all do supporting Key Club, and we just appreciate you so much. And so while it's part of my job to reach out to Kiwanis members, to update you on our progress, to ask for your support, I think the one thing that I really want you to hear today is thank you. Thank you for all the support you give to Key Club. Thank you for supporting our students like Love and Haley. These are formative experiences for them. And if you have any doubt about that, ask Tom about his experiences as a Key Club member at the international conventions that he attended. And I think, I mean, I could be wrong, Tom, but I think you would say that those experiences really helped you in terms of finding who you are as a young person and leading you to a lifetime where you're giving back to your communities. So at this time, I'm happy to do more of a Q&A, and you know, I wasn't too sure what kind of things you would be interested in this morning. Didn't want to waste your time with a lot of things that you had zero interest in, but I also think you all are at least quasi-related to Key Club and may be interested in some things. And so I thought, you know, Laura and I, it's always a team effort with us, so you know, the two of us can help answer any questions. Yeah.
You mentioned 45 countries, which caught me by surprise. What kind of activity, I guess this is kind of a vague question, but do you have, or do Key Clubs have around the world?
Yeah, so in some areas we have pretty good concentration. Places like Taiwan, surprisingly, have an awful lot of Key Clubs. In other places, we just have sort of a sporadic club. We get calls all the time of, hey, I'm in Mombasa and I want to start a Key Club. I'm in Chile and I want to start a Key Club. And I don't even know how they find us, honestly, but they do somehow. And it's usually a student that reaches out. It's not adults and administrators or teachers or principals. It's always a student that has heard about Key Club and is interested in using it to build their communities and wants to know how they can start a Key Club. And so we end up with a few here and there, and then they start recruiting their friends at other schools, and before you know it, we got little clusters in countries.
And do they have relationships with Kiwanis clubs there? Or do they then build relationships?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. So one of the things that we do as they're forming their Key Club is look to see if there are any Kiwanis clubs in the area that we can link them with. And if there is, we do that as sort of the first step. Sometimes we pass it off to our Kiwanis membership friends, and they will look to see if they can generate some interest to start a Kiwanis club there as well. And then, you know, worst case scenario is we just sort of help them form as a Key Club and keep them informed about Kiwanis and hope that parents or administrators or somebody will want to investigate more and see how can we sort of bring this program up for ourselves.
Now, I'll add to that, just because it's something that we get to do that's extremely exciting for me. But some of the students that reach out to us see a lot of success in their communities and our leaders in their clubs, and we connect our Key Club International board with those students, and so they get together and they communicate through email, through online programs, platforms, and plan events together. So, for example, we have a global engagement rally. It's an online meeting, basically. It's on Zoom each year, and the year before last, we had the club presidents from Tunisia, Key Club. They presented a workshop and talked about how they started growing in their community and serving pretty much out of nowhere, really, and that's a really exciting thing. So they have kind of member representatives from all around the world that work directly with the Key Club International trustees. So it's an exciting element of what we do.
It's pretty interesting too. We had a club that, an international club that was having trouble figuring out how to pay their club dues. And they were having trouble with just sort of, the administration of Key Club. They weren't sure how the meetings should run, and they were in an isolated area like we were talking earlier. And so we said, well, we'll get you set up with our Key Club International board, and we'll just go through these questions. And so we had a Zoom call with them, but they didn't speak very good English, but their language was Arabic. And so we connected with some Key Club members in Michigan who spoke Arabic very well. And so we had this Zoom call with them in Michigan, us in Indianapolis, and them in Tunisia or wherever they were from. I think it was the Tunisia Club, right? And so, we would have whatever limited conversation we could have in English, and then they would say, actually, could we switch over to Arabic? And so Laura and I would talk for a little while, then the Michigan students would translate, and then the other students would go back and forth. It was quite an experience. Yeah.
It's encouraging to hear that you'll be back to 100% of pre-COVID levels this year, and that's pretty rare for social and civic clubs. So congratulations on that.
Yeah,
What's driving the success of the club?
What is driving it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the big thing with Key Club is it's a student-led organization. And so each year our members have really focused on growth and getting those numbers back, because they know that the budget impacts, we had to reduce our budget quite a bit in those immediate post-COVID years. The students have taken the lead. Really for us, the international board sets the strategy, and then we really drive down to our governors and our lieutenant governors. And they work with every club to, we had a huge, what we called a homecoming campaign to try to reactivate those clubs that had gone dark during COVID years. Because unlike many Kiwanis clubs, which I think you could find ways to meet during that COVID time, high schools were completely shut down. And not only were you not going to school, but you were not allowed to participate in these extracurriculars like Key Club. And so we lost probably 12 to 18 months of students who just were literally not allowed to meet at all. And so we had massive outreach through both of our adult support network, our district administrators, and those groups, but also at the club and division and district level to try to reactivate as many clubs as possible. The students themselves were making phone calls every night, calling these schools and seeing how can we get you to bring back your clubs. We waived all the reactivation fees, so there was no penalty for coming back. It wasn't their fault that they couldn't meet. So we waived all that. We've also waived this year for the centennial year, we've waived all of our recharter reactivation fees. So if you had a club 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and you want to restart it, you can come back with 0 fees. So we're really trying hard to hit those membership growth numbers. And then, like I said at the top of it, a lot about having great programming, communicating it well, letting people know about those benefits like the Global Leadership Certificate, letting people know about the leadership development opportunities and how that can impact students in terms of their college applications and those types of things. And all of those things together has worked really, really well. So, yeah.
I'd add to that, I think Kiwanis clubs are also a big part of the success.
Of course, yeah.
Kiwanis is the consistent element year after year of Key clubs where they cycle out, they graduate. That is the goal. So, and as a former faculty advisor, I would see Lou Drexler come in, week after week, and he was a familiar face, and just constant and consistent piece of community in the schools. And so I think that compared to other clubs, extracurriculars that schools would have, I think Kiwanis is a big piece of the success for Key Clubs.
I will say, one of the things that I think is really interesting about this year is this is the first year that we're really going to pivot from just trying to reactivate the clubs that were closed. We've spent 2 years plus trying to do that. We've got 95% of those back. That last 5% is probably not, they're just clubs that aren't going to come back for whatever reason. So this is the first year we're really shifting our focus to chartering new clubs. And instead of just trying to get all the old clubs back, we're trying to reach out to new districts, to new clubs. We've been doing some presentations. I know Michelle Sudi Campbell and Michelle Shilton, my supervisors, just went to the National Superintendent's Convention, whatever the acronym is, and had a lot of interest from them, but also had a lot of interest from some former partners. You know, the U.S. military, I guess, used to sponsor a lot of our programming and things, and so they would like to bring some of that back. And so it was a very productive exhibiting conference for us, and I think it's going to lead to a lot of new ideas and new ways to reach out to people. Yeah.
To add to that, we've got 2 new clubs, fairly new, Key Clubs, and they were both, I think, had previous clubs. Matter of fact, one of our members was president of Key Club in Shortridge. Back in 1950 something. So that's came, but the kids called us.
Yeah.
Can we start a program? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then Tech High School, the fellow there that wants to start it is a former Kiwanian. And he's a track coach and math teacher. So we started another club there.
Oh, great.
So it's them reaching out to us.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're not having to do anything on this. Don't know.
Then just say yes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. That's fantastic. Yeah, I think that's the exciting thing is once people know about Key Club and they understand the programming, the school's principles and things here about how it affects the culture in their high school. You see students caring more about each other. You see less fighting. You see, higher academic performance. We have international partners like Erica's Lighthouse that focuses on mental health for our teens. And so all of those different partnerships contribute to a healthier culture at their high schools. And so once they start hearing about all of that stuff, they just want Key Club in their schools. It's just a matter of making sure that they know it is there.
Well, I've seen the effects firsthand.
Yeah.
And I know Haley very well.
Yeah.
And love what they're doing is incredible.
Right.
It is.
They're a little bit smarter than I was at that age. Guaranteed.
Great.
They're a little smarter now than I am now. But it's seeing them grow.
Yeah.
It's what's really fun for me.
Yeah. Yeah, Tom?
A lot of what you said sounds familiar even from, I was a member from 1958 to 1961. There were 2 countries, US and Canada.
Okay.
And it was all male.
Okay, yeah, right.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of it's different, but a lot of the programming and so forth. And my experience in Key Club, I was a district secretary, and that helped me end up being elected international president of Circle K.
Yeah.
And I've been a Kiwanian for 58 years.
Yeah, fantastic. We talk all the time with our Key Club members about that you're not just in Key Club, you're a member of the Kiwanis family. And we would love for them to move on to Circle K. And if Circle K is not appropriate for them, or it doesn't speak to them for whatever reason, look at your local Kiwanis club and get involved there. So we want them to be lifelong Kiwanians, and we encourage that all the time. Tom, I want to ask you a question, if I may. Laura and I work a lot of long hours and late nights because, of course, we're working with high school students, and during the day they're in school. So we have to start in the evenings. And then half of them live on the West Coast, which means that our meetings can't even get started until 7 or 8 p.m. How did you run Key Club without the ability to do Zoom meetings, is what I want to know.
In person.
Did them in person? Okay, yeah. Just a lot more in-person
Met
meetings?
every Tuesday at 7:30 at the school.
But when you were at the, oh, that's right, yeah. Yeah, gotcha.
People came back for the
Yep.
meetings.
Yep. I'm always interested though in how they ran this international organization back before they had Zoom and email and all that stuff. It seems almost impossible,
Write out
but
those
One of
letters.
my-
this was a different
One
way.
of my friends who was a past international secretary of Key Club, 1958 to 59. He's still living.
Yeah.
I want to talk to Tom Houston.
Yeah, I definitely would. I would love to get his contact information. So, what other questions or interests might you have in anything?
Is the educational system in a lot of countries, like Tunisia or smaller countries, so is it based more on age or is it based on you're in high school? Because I know the educational system is different than the United States.
Yeah, and in fact, so often the Key Club in some of the other countries doesn't necessarily look like a traditional Key Club in the States, right? Like it may be more of a community-based type of club as opposed to tied to a specific educational institution. So there is that.
So is it age? So you have to be 16, 17, 15? Is there a cutoff age or?
Our bylaws just state that you have to be in high school. However, that's defined by your country or by your education system. And honestly, we don't do a whole lot of.
Checking.
Yeah, I mean, we want everybody to be involved, right? Like, unless you're 24 years old or 10 years old, right? Like, hey, if you're of an appropriate age for Key Club, we want you to be involved. So.
In the Jamaica district, for example, they have high school starting at what we would consider middle school age. So they could be a Key Club member for 6 years, and that's a goal. That's common. So,
Right.
yeah, some of the Caribbean countries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for all you guys do.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having us. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, Haley and Love, your energy, when you were explaining about international, I know it's always exciting, but we like to see young people in all their energy and exuberance and your passion for what you're doing here with Key Club. So keep it up. Thank you for what you do. Matt, we've got thank you so much. We learned a lot today. We're going to make a donation in your honor to I Support the Girls, Indianapolis. They collect and distribute essential items, including bras, underwear, and menstrual hygiene products, allowing those experiencing homelessness, impoverishment, or distress to stand tall with dignity.
Thank you so
So-
much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. So, on behalf of President Eric, this meeting is adjourned.